In Chicago, you know that all sports rock. The Bears, Hawks, Bulls, Cubs, and Sox. Pick your favorite, you can choose. As long as the Packers lose. For everything you need to know, it's Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. This is your hosts, Alex and Sean. On this episode, we are going to be talking about the Chicago Bears comeback victory, and we're going to be talking about the Cubs making some early moves, the Blackhawks playing well, the Bulls playing well, and more. But first, I'd like to thank our sponsor, the Rockford Ice Hogs. If you're not familiar with the Rockford Ice Hogs, they're the AHL minor league affiliate of the Chicago Blackhawks. What does that mean for you? You get to see the stars of tomorrow today at family-friendly, affordable prices. See is going on right now. Head on over to icehogs.com. Get yourself a hat, shirt, jersey, tickets, and more. Tell them Swerski Sports sent you. Alex, my friend, how are you doing on another Bears heart attack Sunday?
Doing well. Doing very, very well. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I didn't think we had the horses to pull that out today. I really didn't. I mean, going into this game alone, your entire linebacking core, starting linebacking core was out. Your starting corners were out. And then when you're, two defensive drives into the game, your fourth linebacker goes out, and then more and more injuries just pile up because Ruben Hippolyte was hurt the second defensive drive of the game, right?
Yeah. I mean, so you, in this game, for the most part, you had no Edmonds, no Edwards, no Sewell, no Hippolyte, no Jalen Johnson, no Kyler Gordon, no starting left tackle Theo Benedette, and none of your backup running backs in Travis Homer and Roshan Johnson.
Yeah.
You were decimated by injury. And then Tyreek Stevenson went.
Yep. And then you lost Dominique Robinson too.
You lost Dominique Robinson. Oh, you were also out Dio Odengbo.
Yep.
Like this team is absolutely decimated. Decimated. So, yeah, was this an absolutely shitty, ugly win? Yes. But it was a win against a team that was in first place in their division, above 500, perennial playoff team, and you were decimated and you got the victory.
Yeah, I mean, think about this too. Going into this game without any of your starting linebackers, you knew that regardless of who was under center, and we'll get to that, that's a big subject, you knew that it was going to be a lot of short intermediate plays, screen passes, runs, going to the outside. Because from the get-go, you saw the plays where the Steelers were gaining yards where usually Tremaine Edmonds is there to stop it. You saw going to the outside just a much more open lane for the opposition. You saw runs up the middle where they were breaking tackles. You saw in the first half early on what looked like lost plays for this turned into gains because you saw that a number of times. And I mean, the playbook was pretty obvious what they were going to do in terms of the philosophy, but even so, they were still causing a lot of misdirection. The Steelers were early on in the game. So not only were you down, but they were kind of playing you like a fiddle. They were causing all sorts of misdirection out there, and they were getting a lot of things done and creating a lot of just chunk plays. Not necessarily even big yard plays, but it was kind of like a death by 1,000 paper cuts in that first half.
Yeah, that first half was really rough. They were not only did the Steelers game plan go, hey, we're going to take advantage of them being down linebackers that are and playing with linebackers that are less talented, but also less experienced. So they were not diagnosing plays. They were, their read and react was slower. You you were down basically with Carl Jones Jr. and DeMarco Jackson. Like DeMarco Jackson was wearing the green dot today. Like so
Hmm.
that they were taking advantage of that. And you have to give credit to the Bears defensive coordinator for being able to, put a lid on it in the second half with no players. You're playing
That
with special teams players.
that was schematic genius by Dennis Allen. Because when you watch the second half, in the defense in the second half, you saw several things happen. You saw those plays that looked like losses that didn't end up being losses in the first half turn into losses. You saw several plays where the Bears were able to snuff it out and turn, like a a short gain into either a negative or keep them from getting the first down. And you were setting up more second and longs, third and longs. That makes a big difference. And obviously, you got to give a lot of credit to Montez Sweat, who had a big game, including a forced fumble, which ended up being pretty crucial. But it was just a much better schemed second half where you weren't getting fooled like you were in the first half. And yes, you needed a few guys to swarm to one spot because the Steelers have some weapons. They have some big guys, and it's hard for one man just to take him down. But they were able to get there. They were able to read it better. And, you look at the end of the game. I don't know about you, but I thought for sure, whether it was the second to last drive or the last drive, I'm like, they're going to drive down and take the lead or win it. I was almost sure of it. I just didn't think they had the horses, but they were able to figure it out. And I was so grateful that they were able to do that because the first time you forced that punt, and obviously there was a big penalty that helped that out, but at the end of the game, they get to midfield pretty easily. And you're thinking, oh boy, here we go. They're at least going to tie the game and send this into overtime. And then there go the clamps. They made a few mistakes. You took advantage and you were able to just end it. Jaquan Brisker made a great play on fourth down.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll be honest with you. Aaron Rodgers didn't play this game. I was pretty sure he wasn't going to play this game. The
So you were not surprised that Mason Rudolph played.
No, I think the whole thing was gamesmanship. So make the Bears prepare for either one.
Hmm.
Um, there he had a broken hand. He's 40 something years old. There's no way they were going to play him.
Well, and I mean, there were people talking about how even in warmups, and obviously he was limited this week, but they were talking about, he doesn't look so comfortable, but it's Aaron Rodgers. He wants to own the Bears one more time. And obviously they didn't announce that until what, an hour and a half before the game that it was going to be Mason Rudolph. They were kind of letting it soak until the time they had to announce the inactives. I was a little surprised. I mean, if it was any other quarterback, I would have not been like you, but it just the circumstances. I'm like, he's going to try to play, isn't he? Not saying he would have lasted the whole game, but I thought he was going to try, but that didn't end up happening.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, is I don't think I mean, I honestly think the Steelers probably were better with Mason Rudolph than than Aaron Rodgers today. Aaron Rodgers audibles a lot of like play calling, and I think that offense is really not a good offense on the Steelers' part. And they were doing what they thought they could do best, which was a lot of dink and dunk and dink and dunk. And then even the one touchdown, they there was debate and flipping flopping whether it was a pass or a run. And it got changed,
Yeah.
and then it got changed again um,
Hmm.
by the NFL front office, or I mean, in New York. So, like, Aaron Rodgers would have tried to air that out, and I think that would have been, I think the Bears would have fared better in the situations. I really do.
Well, I did say before the game that I'm not so sure that Mason Rudolph is quite the advantage some people might think over Aaron Rodgers. I mean, first of all, when you have a broken hand, even if it's not your throwing hand, you still got to take the snaps. You still got to hold the ball if you're either taking a snap and dropping back, or you're running with it, or you're going north to south and you're trying to find an open guy. You got to
Or
use
you
that.
take a hit and trying to tuck
Yeah,
the ball away.
right. Yeah. I mean, you're using that hand, even if it's not your throwing hand. So it's one of those things where you say, look, even if he's in there, despite his past abilities, he's not mobile anymore. You know that the deep ball isn't quite what it used to be. So add a broken hand on top of that, that's tough to overcome. And with Mason Rudolph, he's not a deep threat. We know that. We saw that today. He threw several deep balls. One got picked, a few were incomplete, one drew a PI. He was never a deep threat. He was always just going to do the short, quick plays, get the ball out, and hit those guys that are right there in the flat, or a screen pass of some kind, or handing off the ball. So you weren't really going to get much of a deep threat, I don't think, either way. But one quarterback is healthy, the other isn't. And Mason Rudolph, he's a backup for a reason, but for backup's sake, he's capable. He would never be a starting quarterback, an ideal starting quarterback, but it's not like you're playing Mike Glennon or something, or you're not playing some other guy where you're like, oh, it's a Nathan Peterman type or something like that. He's more than capable than that. But I'm kind of with you where the Steelers were probably better off with Mason Rudolph in this game.
Yeah, I mean they had a game plan, and Mason Rudolph, good, bad, or otherwise, is gonna follow that game plan.
Right, right.
And um, the frustrating part is that first half, the Bears just stunk. They played a terrible game.
Hmm.
And you're like, okay, the Bears are still in this at halftime. They've got to make some adjustments, and they did. And at the end of the game, you're like, okay, I feel pretty comfortable. They're up by 10, and you're like, I just need the Bears to eat up some clock, or what, and they couldn't. Ben Johnson has gotten a little conservative towards the end of games when they're trying to kill clock sometimes. And that one sequence where they could have run the clock down and then punted, and they went for the pass. Okay, you went for the pass. That's fine. It wasn't there. You need to tell Caleb Williams to just run and slide,
Yep. Yeah,
because
because
that
that
pass
stopped the
wasn't there.
clock.
That
No,
pass was not there, it was no fault of his. Like, there was nothing open, and I keep
right.
saying this. It's frustrating. Is when he rolls out, those receivers go so close to the sidelines. There's no room for error. Even if they
No.
catch it, they're out of bounds. Like, they've got to work on that. They just have to. When he scrambles out, the offense goes cold. It has to be better. They have to reimagine some things on those rollouts, because he's going to roll out. And there was a lot less rollouts today because you saw JJ Watt, or I mean TJ Watt, just wrap him up, and you got the forced fumble in the end zone, and I was screaming how mad I was at Caleb Williams at that. And then I saw the
Oh, I
replay.
was
I saw the
furious.
replay. I'm still not happy with that, but I think he was trying to throw it away, and his just TJ had his arm. Just there was nothing he could do, and tried to throw it away. And TJ was a lot stronger than he was. Should have thrown it away sooner, but it's one of those things. Is the guy's been so good at avoiding sacks that I think he really thought he was going to avoid it and be able to at least throw it away, or make a play, and did not happen and cost them big.
Yeah, I mean, in real time, I think that was as mad as I've ever been at Caleb Williams in a game. I was literally saying, "You fucking idiot!" Like, I was pissed off, and I don't think that of Caleb Williams, but oh my God, I was livid when that happened. I was so, so pissed. And remember this too. That made it 14-7 Steelers. The Bears got the ball back. They drove into Steelers territory, not overly deep, but they were in Steelers territory around midfield, and there was that controversial fumble where I never really saw it.
Nobody did, and they
Nobody
didn't.
did.
They Nobody saw it ever. They all went off of what the Steelers said after the play was over.
Right.
They huddled and just decided it was a fumble. And once they decided, they went to the replay, and there's no replay. There's nothing. Maybe he fumbled it. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. There's no definitive anything in there. So whatever they called on the field, and what they called on the field was literally based on what the Steelers said.
Yeah, and that could have lost the Bears the game. Because if you go down two scores there, I'm not sure you're coming back with how shorthanded you were. That ended up being big because I think there might have been a bit of a makeup call on that fourth down tush push stop because that right there swung the game back in your favor because the Steelers had the ball at the 30. It was 4th and 1. They get that tush push that was called just short, and the Bears got the ball back. And then they were eventually able to tie it before the Steelers would go up, and then the Bears would close the gap again. But if right then and there you were down 21-7, I really don't think you come back. I really don't. So
Yeah,
that was an interesting sequence.
yeah. I'm sure Steelers fans were livid about that fourth down stop, and they did like that's another one where it's is that a makeup call? Is it another blown call? Is it the correct call? I don't know. I can't tell. They called it a stop at a certain point. It was short. Bears got the ball. Same thing with
Yeah.
the fumble you said. But I mean, overall, I think Caleb played pretty well. There was a couple throws that he would love to have back. Um, you know, the the run game wasn't really there, and
No, it wasn't.
um, and the first half just the pass game really wasn't there either. Um, so it was a challenging game, and then second half, you found the ability to move it, and Caleb ended up with what 250 yards ish passing, 3 touchdowns,
I think it was
239.
like 239 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in the first half with Caleb, I'd say there were a good 5 balls where you're like, dude, you were just way off. I mean, he honestly got pretty lucky where that one should have been picked towards the end of the half. And that was
Yeah.
huge because you were down 21-14. You were driving in. You almost got picked. And the Steelers had the ball to start the second half. The fact that you were able to keep that from happening, just based on him dropping the ball, the Steelers guy dropping the ball, you were able to make a nice play to Luther Burden to set up a field goal. So you're like, okay, you're within under a touchdown going into the half. They needed to get a stop opening the second half, and that's what they did. That swung the game in your favor big time because there were several moments in the first half where the Steelers could have taken full control and the Bears probably would not have been able to come back. If Caleb gets picked there, I'm not sure the Bears come back and win this game.
No, there was a lot of moments in this game, and the Bears had no business winning this game. They played so abysmally in the first half. So many injuries, just found a way. But I do want to hype up that Nashawn Wright interception and the first pass that Mason Rudolph made.
It was an awesome play. It's 2 weeks in a row, and Nashawn Wright's been getting picks all year, but the last two picks over the last 2 weeks, those are like, wow, that isn't just like, oh, it was just a lame duck right to you. That was a great play.
Not only was it a great catch, the bit like the skill to get his foot and his knee down before he went
Mm-hmm.
out of bounds was chef's kiss. Like
Yep.
it would have had he just caught the ball and then been out of bounds and still retained, control, I'd have been impressed. But the fact that he did that, controlled the ball, got a foot and a knee down, as we all know, one knee is 2 feet. I think he even had an elbow down too, which is the same as a knee. Um, they they really like that was just an amazing play, and that was a huge turning point. I mean, gave you some momentum there to go down and score a touchdown.
It kind of reminded me of the game against the Cowboys. Remember when the Cowboys got the ball, they were driving, and then Tyreek Stevenson made that insane play on the sideline. It's kind
Yeah.
of what it reminded me of because it was a similar circumstance. Bear got the ball first. They go three and out, they punt. And then, oh crap, here comes the other team driving. And then, boom, there's the big turnover. And then eventually, Caleb was able to throw that strike to DJ Moore in the end zone. One thing you can say about the Bears today that's been better than weeks past, the red zone was so much better today. You were actually able to get into the end zone.
Yeah, and that's going to be important come, we'll talk a little more about this next game. Uh, you have to be better about that. And I know you can't score a touchdown every time, but it has to be more touchdowns than field goals because
Right.
it's it's in like it's hard to get down into the red zone. And if you're just getting field goals, that means you have to do 2.5 times for every one time you'd go down there and get a touchdown. It's just so much more efficient. Like field goals are nice,
Yep.
field goals are helpful, field goals are points on the board, and goals, can win you a game. But man, you need to score touchdowns. Touchdowns
Well,
really
especially
win
when
ball
you're
games.
right, especially when your defense is as decimated as it is. Everybody knew going into this game that you could not afford to settle for field goals. The one time you did is when you were just trying to get points on the board towards the end of the half, which that was a little bizarre. I remember when they called timeout and it's like, oh, you kind of have no timeouts left now. So you got to get a big play and then spike it. Eventually worked out, but it was a little stressful in that moment. But yeah, it's today, like you got three passing touchdowns from Caleb, two of them to DJ Moore. And then you had the Kyle Monangai run where it was just that was a perfectly executed run. All the lead blockers on the offensive line just went ahead and created that space, and all he had to do was just follow his offensive line, and he wasn't even touched into the end zone. That right there is football bliss. So props to them for doing that. And can we talk about the broken play touchdown to DJ Moore because that was absolute art.
Yeah, yeah. You want to ring it up and talk about it?
Yeah. So you had Aaron Rodgers in the building. And one thing that we've seen him do a million times, not only to the Bears, but to plenty of other teams, was when there's a free play and it breaks down, you take big advantage, you go for the big shot, and you get the big play. And that's what Caleb did. He was able on that free play where there was a flag flying. Anything could happen for the Bears. It was a free play because there was a penalty on the Steelers. And there's DJ Moore up the middle, just gliding wide open, hits him in stride, walks to the end zone, wasn't going to be touched by anybody. Like that right there is what we saw Aaron Rodgers do to us so many times. And it was so good to see the Bears execute on that. Because we saw Caleb Williams miss a few of those gimme throws, didn't miss that one, and he didn't miss any of those throws into the end zone today.
Yeah, that touchdown from to DJ Moore was nice, and it was on a it was on that after that bad penalty, and they were backed up, and you're like, oh man, that penalty set them back. What was it, 2nd and 20?
Yeah, so DJ Moore, it was what, taunting? They ruled it because he threw the football at somebody.
Yeah.
So they called it taunting, and I'm like, well, that just killed that drive, and then boom, they were able to redeem it right away. Past teams aren't doing that.
No, no. I mean, you see why this team and is, with the record they are, and why they had to fire Flus and hire Ben Johnson. And, you know, I just want to say the the Bears and the Patriots have to be so happy with the head coaches that they went and got.
Hmm.
Um, because some of the options that were being bandied around were Liam Cohen and uh what's his name that's coaches the Raiders now.
Oh, Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll. Those were
That
some of the
is
other options.
disastrous right now. The Raiders.
The Raiders are bad. The Raiders are
They got
bad.
killed by the Browns today.
By Shadur Sanders.
Yeah, I mean, that is a disaster. And I am so glad that that was never entertained. And, another guy that was entertained was Mike McCarthy, who, if you would have told me Mike McCarthy would be an OC or some sort of special assistant or advisor, I'd say, hell yeah, bring him in, help him develop Caleb. But I don't know if I'd want him at a head coach right now. So, yeah, I think Brian Dable is doing great things. Or not Brian Dable.
Brian Dable is doing no things.
No, he's doing no things. Why did I say Brian Dable? Freaking stupid. Mike Vrabel, excuse me, is doing great things in New England. And speaking of Ben Johnson, didn't you just love that after that final play, the Brisker tip to seal the game? Didn't you just love him and Dennis Allen celebrating on the sidelines? Wasn't that
Yeah.
just awesome?
Yeah. And I was like, after this game, I need to hear my good, better, best.
Oh, I know. I know. I eagerly wait for that after every game, and it fires me up every single time. And Ben Johnson made it a point in his post game to be like, "Listen, we were down all our guys, but our next men stood up. It takes a village." And that's exactly what happened. I thought Dennis Allen did deserve a game ball today for being able to do what he did with this absolutely depleted team. And I know it didn't go well at all in the first half, but man, I mean, you had veteran coach and Mike Tomlin and his staff doing really big things. When I say big, I mean moving the ball, not literal big plays, but they were out coaching you like crazy. And the fact that you were able to adjust and counter with plumbers and roofers and painters, it says a lot. It really, really does.
I'm just looking at the Browns Raiders box score. Myles Garrett had another 3-sack game.
Ugh.
That guy, what does he have? Like 15 sacks in the past 4 games?
He is looking like one of the best pass rushers ever.
Like honestly, this might be more dominant than Lawrence Taylor. And I watched Lawrence Taylor in his prime, and that man was a beast. And
Yeah.
I'm watching this, and he's unreal.
Yeah,
He's
and
so good.
uh imagine if we had him and Montez Sweat. Because you know what? I want to say this. I think Montez Sweat has been playing pretty well lately. Like he's overall having a nice season. I know he kind of dogged that one last sack that he should have had. He should have had 3 sacks, but he had 2 sacks today. One was a strip fumble that ended up being crucial. And I think he's up to what, 7.5 sacks now on the year? So he's on pace to finish hopefully double digits. Like he's having an overall night. He started off really slow, and you and I were complaining about it, but he's been playing pretty well overall lately.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're not watching him just absolutely wreak havoc like when we
No.
first, you know, like a Hall of Fame level guy, but he's been playing well, especially when there's not a lot on the other side of him. And honestly, um, when uh when they got what's his name back from injury, Austin. Um, you saw him play better. Like I think
Yeah.
that has been um uh a boon to him because you talk of when Austin Booker came back week 5, you saw Montez Sweat start playing a lot better because I think Austin Booker is the better rusher on the outside than Dio Dengbo. Now you pay Dio Dengbo a lot of money. So
Yeah, I still don't get that one.
yes, you're seeing better pressure over there. It would still be nice if you had more edge rushers that you could count on to be able to do like what Philadelphia does and just throw wave after wave. But you know
Hmm.
what? Beggars can't be choosers, and we're getting by with what we got.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, my top expectations for Montez Sweat, like, I'm in no way comparing him to Myles Garrett or Micah Parsons or any of the other top pass rushers. Like, I think he's a good player. He's not an elite player, but you still need a lot of support, whether he's good or great, as a pass rushing team. I mean, even today, you saw more pressure on him later in the game, but it still wasn't, you weren't racking up sacks. There were some big moments where you tried blitzing Mason Rudolph and he didn't get touched. You saw some pressure come, but they weren't getting home. I mean, there was one play in particular, I think it was on the last touchdown drive by the Steelers. They had him 3rd and 10, Dennis Allen blitz. He was able to pick it up and get it off. And there was kind of a quick millisecond or 2 millisecond pause where you think if he had a bit more of an elite pass rush, you could have gotten home, but he didn't. So, I mean, that's one thing you really just need to fix this offseason. You could dial up a blitz, you could try to scheme it. We've seen in some Bears games where the pressure does get a little better as the game goes, but it's never going to be a huge threat from this defense, even when it's healthy.
Yeah, it would be really nice to have this Myles Garrett on the team. And it's 13 sacks um in the last 4 games.
That doesn't even seem possible.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. Is um 5 against New England, 1 against the Jets, 4 against Baltimore, 3 against Vegas. That gives you 13 in 4 games.
That's insane. That is beyond insane. Man, if the Bears had that, oh, we'd be talking Super Bowl, man. Once we get some of our guys back, hopefully. I will say real quickly, while we're on the subject of defense, that Tremaine Edmonds IR stint is really, really, really sucky. That's a big
Yeah,
blow.
yeah, because he's gonna miss a big chunk of games that they need him for.
Yeah, and I think Green Bay is going to just absolutely wreak havoc on that. And Philadelphia. It's
Yeah,
going to
so
be a problem.
you're looking at he was out today, so that's week 1. Then out against the Eagles, out against Packers, out against the Browns. So the first game he could be back is the second game against the Packers.
And I think there's some doubt there because, I mean, we won't know until the time, but they're making it sound like it could be possibly longer than the typical IR stint, which really
I mean, it
sucks.
really could. I mean, it could. I mean, he could be done for the season. We
He
don't
could
know.
be. He could be.
Um,
I
uh,
just hope TJ Edwards is able to come back and play at his top level because you're going to need some linebackers in there to make those tackles.
you need some linebackers.
Well, yeah, you literally need linebackers.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, it sounds like TJ Edwards might be close.
Hmm.
I have a feeling that Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon are going to play against the Eagles.
I think so too.
I have a
I think so
feeling
too.
that I have a feeling that they could have played today. They didn't think. I think they. My guess. This is my guess. because they were full participants in practice, and
Hmm.
then they made the decision early to not play them. I think they knew Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to play, and they weren't worried about the down field attack of Mason Rudolph. That they were, it was more the run game and screen game. Um, and they didn't want Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon just having to run around and chase guys to make tackles on screen passes and you know running game. So I think they just were like, we'll just sit them, let them have the short week, or the rest of the week to go for the short week against the Eagles. I think we'll get both of those guys back. Um, I'm gonna guess we have TJ Edwards back. I have a,
That's my hope.
I have a feeling we'll have Theo Benedict back. I don't think we'll have Travis Homer, Roshan Johnson. I don't know
Wasn't
about,
Roshan on IR?
I think he's on IR. So you won't have him. Um, and you won't have Edmonds. Probably won't have uh Sewell and Hippolyte.
I mean, the questions are too. What about Dominic Robinson? What about Tyreek Stevenson? Those are the guys where you're wondering, like, okay, they got hurt in today's game. What's going to happen there?
You
I
know,
mean, it's just a
it
revolving door of
sucks. It would
injuries.
be nice to have Tyreek Stevenson back, but if you've got CJ Gardner Johnson and uh and Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon all back, I think you can live without Tyreek Stevenson.
I mean, I'm sure you technically could. It's just nice to have every body available possible. You just mentioned one name. You mentioned Theo Benedict. So
Hmm.
Theo Benedict was out today, and you played Ozzy Trapillo.
Hmm.
You didn't hear Ozzy Trapillo's name called.
No, no. I mean, you saw pressure come in on that, on the quarterback. Like it wasn't like he had a clean pocket, which would have been nice because I think they could have picked apart the Steelers defense a little more if he had more time. But um you didn't, there was no complete boneheaded plays, no penalties. So it was a clean game. Um
He
that's
played
a,
as
a good
good as I
sign.
think you could have asked for in that situation.
Yeah.
It was 10 billion times better than when you tried to put out Kiran Amagaji last year in Minnesota.
I
We
mean the
remember
fact
how that worked out.
I mean the fact that you put in Trapillo, um, it's uh is Braxton Jones still even on this team?
I kind of forgot about him.
Like that guy is so gone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I would put money down that when Ben Johnson came in here, he told Ryan Poles, we can't have Braxton Jones as our left tackle. They gave everybody a chance to beat out Braxton Jones, and it just didn't happen. They gave everybody a chance. Everything was on the table to beat Braxton Jones. And then they started him and then no, no, it's Theo Benedict. Uh they're so done with him. There's exactly a 0% chance he's back on this team. He could say I'll play for the league minimum and they're going to be like, "No, we're good. We're good." Um
Yeah.
so you put a rookie who's a right tackle over at left tackle rather than your week one starting left tackle out there. Um, so uh, that's where you are.
I just feel like he deserves a little bit of credit out there. I mean, how many snaps had he taken at left tackle before?
Um,
Not a
oh
lot.
wait, is Braxton Jones hurt? Oh no,
He is
Braxton
hurt.
Jones is hurt. That's why. Okay, all right. Well, that makes sense. Still, that they didn't put him in. He's hurt.
Well,
I
I mean,
wonder. I wonder
yeah,
if they
but
would have put him in
your
anyway.
point still stands.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, I just think he's done. They,
Yeah, he is.
especially since you put in Ozzy Trapillo, he looked fine. Um, I think that Steelers defensive line is stout, and
Yes, it is.
um, for the most part, they didn't wreak havoc. The one sack that you know could not have been more written by a script. Oh, the sack that got him to be the Watt with the most sacks was a forced fumble in the end zone for a touchdown. They gave him the lead. Um, but other than that, the Bears were able to hold it. They couldn't get a run game going. That was the
No,
sucky part.
no.
But even when you lost Jonah Jackson for a little bit, they put Luke Newman in, and Luke Newman looked pretty good. Uh,
Yeah.
you know,
Newman.
Newman. Yeah, I mean, I've said it on the show that I think Luke Newman uh, is a guy that they like. I think he's really a guy that they like. Um, and
Maybe there's more to Newman that meets the eye. No, there's less. He's
uh,
pure evil.
Newman.
Sorry, I had to get that quote out there. But no, I'm with you. And when you looked at the offensive line today, I was talking about how on the touchdown run, they were able to push forward. You weren't seeing a lot of that early on in this game from the Bears offensive line. And there were some plays where you're running DeAndre Swift up the middle. I'm like, can we not do that? That was a little frustrating in my opinion. But
Yeah,
again, you weren't getting the offensive line moving the pile forward.
yeah, and I got a little frustrated with the Ben Johnson play calling today. Um, your game plan that you wanted to go in there with was not working, and he did not adapt well in that first half. Second half much better, but that first half, then at the end of the game, I think he got really, really conservative, and they were trusting a defense that's obliterated with injuries to stand tall. I just don't know if that's
I
how
really
I would
wanted
have
them
done
to try
things.
to run to the outside. Yeah, I just wanted to see an outside run because I'm like, if they're going to run up the middle, they're not going to go anywhere. It's almost like they were just trying not to lose.
Um, yeah. Remember Ryan Bates?
I was reminded of him today looking at the depth chart with all the injuries.
Yeah, I'm looking. I was like, man, that guy, he's not going to go in this season unless there's just something bad that happens. Because Luke Newman is clearly the backup at the guard position. Um, and Ozzy Trapillo is the backup tackle. And I have a feeling Jonah Jackson would go in, kick inside to play center, and Luke Newman would go in over Ryan Bates. That dude is just sitting there. And we traded what, a fourth rounder for him?
Yeah. Wasn't that the guy that Ryan Poles tried to sign and then didn't, but like had to get
Yes.
him and then they
Yes.
eventually traded for him?
Yes.
Because he was on Buffalo before.
Yes.
It
I'm
came with
looking
a
at
box of Bills fan puke.
this is the list of Bears players that are on injured reserve. Karan Amagaji, Tremaine Edmonds, Kyler Gordon came off of it. Deion Hankins, uh, Roshan Johnson, Braxton Jones, Dio Odengbo, Terrell Smith, Shamar Turner.
Man,
Uh,
rough.
rough indeed.
It is
Rough.
rough. But you know what? Hey, if you want some good news with Ryan Poles, his draft class did pretty good today. Colson Loveland had a touchdown. Luther Burden had a few big plays. I mean, Hippolyte didn't really get much of a chance because he got hurt, but he was going to be initially an integral part of the defense. So, I mean, it's something until you get hurt, I guess. But hey, seeing Colson Loveland and Luther Burden be a productive part of that offense, you got to love that.
Yeah, I mean, I love Colston Loveland.
Me
Um,
too.
I think it, by the end of the season, and especially next season, you are going to see him just be a fucking weapon.
I know. It's exciting to think about what he could be.
Um, because you saw what the tight end in Detroit, what a weapon he was,
Yep.
and how he just revitalized that offense. And they haven't started really doing that yet with Colston Loveland. Just imagine once like what this offense is going to be once they incorporate him fully in here.
Oh, I know. It's something that I want to see grow and grow more and more because even if he hasn't been like in every regular part of the offense where he's not just putting up ridiculous numbers every game, you're seeing him be involved in big plays, in crucial plays.
Yep. Yep. Um,
He had a game-tying touchdown today when you were down 14-7.
I'm just laughing is one of the pre games they had their prop bets for the game, and one of them was like, it's like I've got this one as my lock is Caleb Williams throwing for uh 250 and Colston Loveland with 50 receptions or 50 receiving
50
yards. Sorry,
receptions.
50
Sheesh.
50 receiving yards, and it wound up as 239 and 49.
That's pretty good.
It's good. It's just shy of what the bet was.
50 receptions.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. That would be an all-time day as a tight end from Colson Loveland if he got targeted 50 times.
50 receptions, not 50 targets.
Okay, well, that was me assuming he'd make the catch every time
Oh,
because he's
yeah,
Colson Loveland and he's
he's coasting.
awesome.
That's true. That's true. Um,
Yes.
yeah. So it was an absolutely ugly win, and they cannot play like that on Friday and expect to win. But here's the thing: we learned today the Eagles are not invincible.
They just blew a 21-0 lead to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Um, like that offense is really stagnant.
It feels like Saquon doesn't have quite the same juice, and you're seeing some bigger mistakes made from uh, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, the production, telling people bench me in frickin' fantasy. The thing though is, I know that they collapsed today, but we've seen what that defense can do
Yeah, they've got some
with Vic
injuries now,
Fangio.
though.
They do. They do.
Um,
They do. Um, I am not putting my money on the Bears whatsoever to beat the Eagles, but it's not impossible. I mean, nothing is ever truly impossible in an NFL game.
I think we need to one lesson we need to take away from this is George Pickens had 146 yards receiving in this game.
Me fantasy likes it.
Is we need Roma Dunze to go off in this game.
Yes, we do.
Like that's where they're going to win is they're going to have to just like the defensive backs on here got toasted. CeeDee Lamb had 75, Ferguson had 60, George Pickens had 146, Dak Prescott threw for 354 yards. Like is is you're gonna have to beat them with the pass.
Absolutely.
Um,
And Roma Dunze, don't drop any passes, man.
yeah. So we are going on a short week to play the Eagles. And this I think today was probably the start of the gauntlet, but
Yes.
but probably the most winnable of the gauntlet.
Correct.
Uh, and you got the victory.
Yeah.
And we keep talking about this is they need 10 wins. They've got to go in and find those wins. That's you just week in week out, you've just got to go find the win. Doesn't matter how you get them, you got to find them, dig them out, and the sooner you come up to with them, the better it looks for you to make the playoffs. And at this point now, they've doubled their playoff chances from like 30 something to like 60%.
I said 3 weeks ago, going into the Giants game, that if you want a chance to make the playoffs, they needed to go 3-0 over those 3 weeks. So the Giants at the Vikings and versus the Steelers. I said you needed to go 3-0 to give yourself a chance. They went 3-0. Nothing is locked, but now they have an opportunity. You can still lose this, but you have an opportunity, a real opportunity. You win 2 more games, you get 10 wins. And we'll see what they can do. I still very much worry about being Green Bay. I really don't know how that's going to go. Hopefully, your defense is a little healthier by then. If you split with them and you beat the Browns and maybe find one other win somewhere, that's 11 wins. But if you at least split with Green Bay and beat one other team, whether it's the Browns, the Eagles, the Lions, whatever, that gets you to 10 wins.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk, past this game because I mean they are they are doing what the Vikings did last year is find ways to just win those one score games.
Correct.
Uh, I mean the Bears the Bears haven't won by more than one score since mid-October. Is It beat the Bengals by one score, beat the Giants by one score, beat the Vikings by one score, beat the Steelers by one score. At some point, you've got to. I mean, the wins are wins, but you've got to get a little tighter in the ship here. So next on the docket is the Eagles, and they're banged up too. Um, you know, uh, they lost a Dory Jackson to a concussion. They lost Reed Blankenship. They lost a Jomo, the defensive tackle, who might be their best defensive tackle. They lost all of those to injuries. Um, so, oh, you're also Lane Johnson is out. Um, so you're looking at um uh Lane Johnson out, and your defensive backs are a little thin.
Well, let's say you get TJ Edwards back, let's say you get Kyler Gordon back, let's say you get Jalen Johnson back. I mean, you have your best defensive back out there, and you have your nickel, and you have a linebacker. So at least you could say, okay, in your linebacking core, you'll have your nickel, and then you'll have one of your best tacklers. Is it ideal that Tremaine Edmonds isn't in there? No, because he's been such an integral part of this defense. But at least you could say you have one of your better tacklers and your nickel in there. That creates a big difference.
Yeah, we need the TJ Edwards revenge game.
That's true. Former Eagle.
We
That
we
is
need that
true.
revenge game. We never get a revenge game ever. We only get the revenge game against us. We're never on
We
the
didn't
right
get it
side of a
today.
what's that?
We didn't get it today.
Who was a former Steeler?
Well, not that type of revenge game.
Oh, I want the type of revenge
Different
game
kind of
from
revenge game.
a former player. We always get
Yes.
the one of our somebody we let go just decimates us and and we never have it the other way around. I want the TJ Edwards revenge game where he has an interception return for a touchdown or a forced fumble that leads to a touchdown and multiple sacks and ten solo tackles and three for loss. Like I want that just a absolutely dominant game where they're like, damn man, we should have kept that guy.
No, I feel that. I feel that. That would be great.
That's what we need. Um, I don't like that it's a short week. Uh, because any of these new injuries, um, tough to get those guys back in time. Um, that's why I'm not counting on Ruben
At least it's a
Hippolyte.
short week for them too. Yeah.
It's a shorter week for them because they played the afternoon game.
They did, and then they have to travel further if that matters to you from Dallas to back to Philly. Probably doesn't
Yeah,
make a difference because it's a week of preparation, but still. I'm
yeah,
counting my victories where I can.
so yeah, I mean it's I want to go week by week. Is as it stands right now, um, the Bears are in first place in their division, uh, and looking at the NFL playoff picture is um, the Bears. The Bears are the number 3 seed.
Yep, week by week.
Week by week. So, I mean, if the Bears find a way to win next week, the number 2, potentially number 1 seed. Just got to go win by win. So their playoff probability right now is 63%, which is significantly better than it was last week.
Yeah.
Significantly better than it was this morning. It's funny. The other teams that are in the top 5 in the standing or in the Rams uh, are 99% to make the playoffs.
Hmm.
Eagles 99%, Buccaneers 93, Seahawks 91, but the Bears 63. That means the NFL does not believe in the Bears. And
No.
and even like the rounding out the top 8, Packers 77, 49ers 86, Lions 77. So they do not believe in the Bears. And I mean, to be fair, you look at this the top teams here. The Bears still have to play the Eagles. They still have to play the Packers twice. They still have to play the 49ers and they still have to play the Lions.
Yeah.
Um, the almost all of their remaining schedule is against teams that are playoff teams in the NFC. You got
Eh.
one game that's not.
Well, it's nice right now to be in the conversation, right? Not in the hunt, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're not in the hunt. We are. We are there. We're winning this division right now. So it's
Yeah. This is the deepest we've led the division since 2018.
yep. Um so that's it's a nice feeling. No matter what happens, it's a nice feeling where we're playing out with house money right now.
Hmm.
Because I think even of the reasonable people making predictions before the season, I think they said Bears 7-10. Right?
Hmm.
I mean, there's always the crazy fans 17-0. But I think out of like actual people that make a living talking about football and their predictions, I would say the Bears maxed out 7 wins, 8 wins.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this season, I thought 7, 8 wins would be about their range, and that wasn't because I wasn't faithful in Ben Johnson. I was just thinking you lacked talent in a lot of certain areas, and you're trying to develop a quarterback, and there's going to be a lot of growing pains with that.
Just think of how much better of a position they'd be in right now had they beat the Vikings week 1.
I was thinking about that today, and then I thought to myself, yeah, but look how easily we could have lost so many other games. I try to console myself because believe me, if you would have hung on to that game and everything else would have gone the same way, you'd be 9-2.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's a huge difference.
JJ McCarthy's looking bad.
Oh yeah. Oh, he
He
is
was
looking like dog shit.
he was the NFL offensive player of the week 1. And since then, he has been dog poo poo tacos. Like,
He just coming in with a big old platter full of them.
he is the poo poo platter of quarterbacks.
Yeah, no, he's looking rough.
I mean, it's like I'm not saying he's a bust because he's still young. That guy's like 22 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
He's still young. But man, he's got a lot of things to figure out, and he has not figured them out. He seems to be going backwards.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that there's a lot of injuries right now on that team as well, including Darisaw. I mean, that's a huge, huge loss for that offensive line, and he's under pressure a lot. But even when he has time to throw and he's able to find an open man on the read, the number of just misfires where it's like, well, the read was good, but the throw was 10,000 miles off. You're like, geez.
He finished the game with 8 against the Packers, 87 yards, 2 interceptions, and a 34.2 quarterback rating.
Ugh. Woof.
34.2.
That's really bad.
I mean, Jordan Love didn't have a great game by any stretch. No touchdowns, 139 yards passing.
But you
Um,
didn't have to. You could
he
just
did.
run the ball and just take advantage of turnovers and you were good.
Yep. And that's what they did. Uh, um, so yeah, I mean, that's there where we are. We are in first place. And man, I just want to say one more thing. The Giants gave that game to the Lions today.
I know. I know.
That that could have been huge for the Bears had they
Yeah.
done what they should have done and won that game. It would be the Lions uh at 6-5, 2 full games behind the Bears.
I know. Stupid John. When I saw they had that 10-point lead, I'm like, they'll blow it. They've been blowing it all year, and sure enough, they did.
Yep. I mean, did you see what's his name? Their star wide receiver that's hurt. Um
Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors made a tweet about talking about how they must have been intentionally throwing that game and then deleted it.
Oh shit.
He was like, how he's like, there's no sense in what they did, and went through what they did, and it was just like, this makes no sense, and then he deleted it.
Dang. Well, tanking.
That's they're tanking. Like
Yeah.
they're tanking. This is absolutely a tank.
They're
And
competing with their fellow tenants for the number one overall pick, and they're trying to pass the Titans. So don't the
yeah,
Titans only have one win?
tank. Yeah, so I'm on Tankathon right now, and if they the Giants would have the number 2 pick right now,
Yeah.
and there are, and they could. There is there are 9 teams that have 3 or less wins. So this like they could easily drop from number 2 to like number 9 quickly. And that's a big difference in
Oh yeah.
caliber of player. So yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that they gave that game away. Um, once they lost these like couple in a row, then and they're down their starting quarterback. Uh, I they just they're gonna play tough and then just choke or intentionally give it up at the end to preserve the win, but not look like they're tanking. But they did.
Yep. Big time woof. Even after that great, did you see that Jameis Winston touchdown catch? Like, did you actually see the replay of that?
The catch was good. The run afterwards was great. Did you see his post game press conference?
No, I didn't.
He's like, I'll go out and play tight end if they need me to.
Eh, well, they need somebody.
I mean, you know how much better he is than Russell Wilson?
Oh God, I mean light years at this point.
Russell Wilson is so cooked. I mean, honestly, if you were like, uh, you've got to start Russell Wilson for your team, I'd be like, is Johnny Manziel available?
I'd rather start the backup tight end under center than that.
Uh, yeah, I would literally, if you were like, yeah, your option is Russell Wilson, I would go and sign Colin Kaepernick off the street, like no doubt.
Yeah, I mean he's frieder than fried.
Yeah, and he not only just no talent anymore, just he looks shell shocked.
Yeah,
Like as soon as there's pressure, he's just throwing the ball away, like he's scared.
yeah, yep. For a guy who's been around forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I have one last subject regarding the Bears today.
Okay.
What has been hanging over the head over this matchup all week?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, and he's an asshole.
Yes. I'm just so glad I can put him in the past. I'm so glad we don't have to deal with it anymore. Because there is a reality that regardless if he started or not, the Bears won this game or not, like let's say he did start this game and the Bears won. Okay? So he
Hmm.
went from 25-5 to 25-6. It would have been a big for this Bears season, but when it comes to the legacy of Aaron Rodgers and the Bears, that's set in stone. Like that's not changing. That's today would not have made a difference. Like none of the 15 some odd years he was our literal owner, it was that going to be reversed today. And a lot of Bears fans, and I understand why, wanted that revenge. And believe me, if he was playing, I would have wanted them to beat the hell out of him. I wanted them to win 50-0 against him. I wanted, Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker to get 3 picks each. But again, it wouldn't have changed the legacy. And going into this game, regardless if he started or not, I just said, I am just glad I can put it behind me because it just tortured me as a fan for years of just us being the nail to his hammer where he could just smugly look around and laugh and there was nothing we can do about it and just ripping our hearts out time after time after time again, whether it was a late choke or him putting up 40 points in the first half, whatever it was, him just turning Soldier Field into his playground. I mean, did you see the clip of him this morning when he was walking around? Did you hear or see that?
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
He's walking around, flipping the bird to cameramen, pointing around. He's just pointing around saying, well, there's where I hit Randall Cobb on the ending Hail Mary of the season. There is where we won the NFC Championship. There is when I hit Jordy Nelson on a 60-yard bomb. There is where we won 38-10 one time. It's stuff like that. And I mean, it's just, it was such a helpless feeling. He was mocking us, and there was nothing we can do. And I'm just so glad it's over. We don't have
Yep.
to deal with that anymore. And they can talk about it, they can live about it all they want, but the fact of the matter is, it's not our problem anymore. Now, beating Jordan Love, that still might be a problem, and he might be another Bears owner, but in terms of Aaron Rodgers himself, it could be in documentaries, it could be in movies, it could be talked about on broadcasts, there could be books about it, there could be all the tweets reminding us about it, all the gifs of him saying "I own you" at the Bears crowd. It's all in the past now. We can move on from that. The Packers fans can relish in it. Aaron Rodgers can relish in it. That legacy will always be there. But I, as a Bears fan, can say he himself is not my problem anymore. And I'm just relieved that that's where we're at now. That's my thought.
Yep, it's one albatross off our back.
Which, unfortunately, we thought that about Brett Favre retiring and then clearly, but yeah. I don't know if you have anything to add, but that's my thoughts.
No, that's it. F Aaron Rodgers, and um, you know, go to hell, and glad I never have to see you again.
I just don't want to think about Aaron Rodgers anymore. Like, I,
And
I just don't want to even think about him.
I just the one thing is sure he didn't play and we didn't get a chance to beat him per se, but I think the Bears went a long way into knocking the Steelers out of the postseason.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, no matter what, you beat the Steelers today. You didn't beat him on the field, but you did get a big win over the Steelers. Because now the
Because
Steelers are what?
the Steelers, we
Six and
knocked the
five?
Steelers, yeah, 6-5, but we knocked the Steelers out of first place. The Ravens are now in first place, and the Ravens are a significantly better team than the Steelers. And if the playoffs were to start right now, the Steelers would be out. So
And
the
I
Steelers,
think there are a lot of Steelers fans. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, the Steelers would have to leapfrog either the Bills or the Jaguars or the Chargers to get in. And I think the Bills are having a rough spell here, but I think they're significantly better than the Steelers. Same with the Chargers. And the Jaguars just have an easy schedule.
Right, right. I know online a lot of Steelers fans, followers of mine. And it was kind of an interesting dynamic because a lot of them I know are fellow Cub fans. Like I know from Cubs Twitter, but they're Steelers fans for one reason or another. And I get the sense that the Steelers fan base has grown very tired of just going 9-8 and getting crushed in the playoffs every year. It kind of reminds me of the late Detroit Red Wings where it felt like they were playing just to keep that playoff streak alive, but you knew they were never a legit threat to win the Stanley Cup when the playoffs came around. It's like, oh, they made the playoffs for the 24th straight time or whatever it was. And then it's like, okay, they just lost in five in the first round of the Boston Bruins. That was a regular occurrence in their final 5, 6 years of that last era of Red Wings hockey. And that's kind of how I feel where a
I,
lot of Steelers fans are. And I understand.
I can tell you exactly why. They don't have a quarterback. They
Right.
have not been good since Ben Roethlisberger. They just haven't had a quarterback. They've gone Mason Rudolph and um, they've gone Justin Fields and
Russell
old ass
Wilson.
Russell Wilson and old ass Aaron Rodgers. Like they've just had a rotation of bad quarterbacks or old quarterbacks. And the problem is if you're not drafting in the top like 10 or 12, you're probably not going to get a top quarterback. And they're not bad enough to get into those uh you know to get one of those impact quarterbacks. And they're going to have to tank. They're just going to have to tank in order to get a quarterback or make a massive trade to get up in there. And you know what? Honestly, is that's this might be a bad year to do it because there's no good quarterbacks really coming out. But this would be in one respect, this would be the year to do it because it's looking like Tennessee and the Giants, are have the good odds to get the number one overall pick and the number two overall pick, and they both have quarterbacks. So if you needed a quarterback, uh, you could trade up with one of them for a haul and be able to get it because they're not locked in on a quarterback.
Well, you're
And
making a good point here.
the problem is this is not a good quarterback draft.
Right.
I'm trying to think.
And they
He's
knew Aaron Rodgers was a 1 year solution too.
Yeah. Who's even a top quarterback? Mendoza from Indiana. Is that it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I think the Steelers have a lot of work to do to be, a powerhouse again. Because I think in addition to the quarterback carousel, their defense has really been disappointing. They have a lot of names on that defense, but it just hasn't been very good. Or not as good as they'd hoped it would be.
Um, so I'm looking at Matt Miller's mock draft from 4 or 5 days ago. Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. He has as the top quarterback. Dante Moore from Oregon. Um, Ty Simpson from Alabama. Going through his top 20, 21. He has three quarterbacks in the first round. Three. So I don't love two of them. I just don't. So yeah, this is from one respect, this is the year to be able to trade up and get your quarterback, and the other because the who has the top pick, but on the other hand, there's just nobody to trade up for.
I mean, the Steelers have been kicking the can down the road for how long now when it comes to
It,
quarterbacks?
it
Ever
they're
since
doing
Ben
what
Roethlisberger left?
Yeah, they're doing what the Saints are doing with the salary cap.
Just
And
kicking
it's
it down the
it is
road.
time. It is time to pay the piper.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Uh, yeah. Let's see. Steeler, Pittsburgh. Where is Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh is in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, no, I'm looking on over the cap. I'm trying to see. Um, uh, uh, uh. They have Mason Rudolph under
What if you
contract.
tank
That's
what
it.
if you tank next year and you're just like, all right, Mason Rudolph's our guy. We'll have an awful record. We'll draft a quarterback the next year and then yeah, go from there. Because I just don't think the Steelers are bad enough to tank this year.
No,
Like you're
no, they would
six
have to
and
they would have to
five.
trade they would have to trade up, make a massive haul.
Right, exactly. So like obviously you're not bad enough to tank. So if you're going to trade up, that would be an insane haul, an absolutely insane haul. So, I mean, after this year, do you just bite the bullet next year and tank next year?
I mean, probably. I think you have to.
Because what? Are you going to try to find another 1 year solution at quarterback? Obviously, you didn't win any playoff games with Wilson or Fields. We'll see with Rodgers. I mean, it's still possible they go to the playoffs and they do something, but I don't see them going to the Super Bowl right now, knock on wood.
The
But
NFL.com has their playoff probability at 27% right now
hmm,
after today's game.
yeah.
So it's not good.
No, it's not. I mean, it's still possible, but it's not great. I think today was a game they really had to get.
And you know what even makes their odds worse? You know, as a team that has the same exact record as them, that's right now outside of the playoffs looking in, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh yeah, well they won a game today. They were down big to the Colts and they came back and won in overtime.
Yeah. So,
And I am not ruling out Pat Mahomes. You just can't. Until he's gone, you can't rule it out.
I mean, if you had somebody said you've got to gamble your entire salary this year on either the Steelers or the Chiefs making the postseason with the same record on after week 12, which one are you doing?
I mean, right now you got to go with the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs are a very flawed team, but it's the Chiefs. It's Pat Mahomes that when the going gets tough, we know what they do.
I mean, I say it's 50-50 the Chiefs make it, but if I have to bet on either the Chiefs or the Steelers, I'm going I'm going the Chiefs. I don't think there's a way that they
Until they're dead and buried, you just can't bet against them. That's how I look at it.
yeah. I mean, because right now both teams are outside looking in. So the Chiefs, the Texans, and the Steelers are all 6-5 outside the playoffs. The Bills, Jaguars, Chargers, Ravens are in. I think the Ravens are just going to run away with the rest of this division.
I mean, once they got healthy again, both defensively and Lamar Jackson, they look more like the Ravens people thought we were going to see in the preseason.
Yeah. Um, I think what's the Chargers' rest of their schedule look like?
Buzz, buzz, buzz.
The Chargers' rest of their schedule. Uh, we are
The Chargers are a weird team, don't you agree?
yes, they've got
Sometimes,
they've got the Raiders next.
yeah, that you should hopefully win that. But again, they are a weird team.
You know what? Their schedule is not easy. They get the Raiders, which should put them at 8 wins. Um, then they go the rest of the remaining schedule after the Raiders is Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans, Broncos.
Mm,
That is not an easy schedule.
no, and you never know what team shows up because sometimes that Jim Harbaugh Steelers team looks dominant. Other times they look like pure dookie.
Yeah. On the other hand, the Jaguars have are would be in right now. Their next game is against the Titans. Then they got a tough one against the Colts. Then they get the Jets. Uh, then Broncos, Colts, Titans. So they've got to play the Titans twice. The Jets, like that's not that difficult of a schedule. Um, who else is right there? Bills schedule. What do the Bills look like? The Bills get the Bills get the Steelers next week. Then they get the Bengals with Joe Burrow back, probably. Then the Patriots, then the Browns, then the Eagles, then the Jets. It's a mixed bag.
You got some tough games in there, though.
You do.
You really do. And you saw what that Texans defense did to the Bills.
The Steelers' remaining schedule is Bills, Ravens, Dolphins, Lions, Browns, Ravens.
That's not easy. It's not a cakewalk overall.
So I think the Steelers would have to win the division. So they would have to beat the Ravens twice. I don't know if that's
Tall
happening.
task. That's a tall task. And I know that they want to have Rodgers play next week. Is he going to be ready to play? Will he be effective if he's out there? I don't know.
And the Chiefs' remaining schedule is Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Chiefs, Raiders. I'm sorry,
The,
Broncos, Raiders.
the Chiefs play the Chiefs?
They do the scrimmage game. Broncos, Raiders. That is not that hard of a schedule. The Texans team got us a good defense. They have no offense. Titans are
Davis Mills,
bad.
baby.
Titans are bad.
Well, and they're
Raiders are
tanking.
bad.
Yeah.
So it means you got to beat the Broncos, who've already beat you once.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers, who I think beat you once, and the Cowboys, who just beat the Eagles. So I don't know. We'll see.
The Cowboys are the team in the NFC where I'm like, don't put them in the rearview mirror yet. They're 5-5-1. It's a tight NFC. There's a lot of good teams, but if that offense gets going, there's a chance. I'm just saying.
Their current
Like you can look
playoff
at other
probability is
teams, but
10%.
I know it's low. I know it's low. They're on life support, but I'm I'm just not bearing them completely yet. We've seen wild things happen in the NFL. Like the Vikings you can bury. They're done. They're what, 4-7 right now?
4-7, and their current playoff probability is 1%.
Yeah, they're done. The Giants were officially eliminated today. The Saints are
Yes.
done. The Falcons are probably done.
So here's the ranked by the worst odds to make the postseason. Saints
Okay.
Saints are less than 1%. They're almost eliminated. Giants are eliminated. Saints are almost eliminated, less than 1%. Commanders are almost eliminated, less than 1%. Cardinals almost eliminated, less than 1%. Vikings 1%. Falcons 2%. Cowboys 10%. Panthers 33%. Lions 76%. Those are the teams that are not currently in the playoffs if they were to start today.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean that all makes sense.
So, I mean, could the Cowboys go on a run? Yeah. I just they
I'm not betting on it. I'm just saying if there's a team that could go on a run among like I mean the Lions I think are going to make it. I think the Lions are going to make it. I'm not counting them as a are they can they make a magical run? Like they're favored to make the playoffs. They should make the playoffs. But outside I think the Cowboys are a candidate, and maybe the Panthers. Maybe the Panthers. They have the higher odds. I just don't know if Bryce Young is good enough, but their defense seems to be playing better, and Bryce Young will show some flashes. They seem to be a much better run team right now. I mean, they function better. They found ways to win games. So I think the Panthers are definitely a possibility. Uh, But if underneath the Cowboys, all those teams are they're cooked.
here's the Cowboys' remaining schedule. They get next games against the Chiefs, Lions. It's going to tell a whole story.
Sure.
Uh, After that, though, it's the Vikings, which they should win. The Chargers, which is going to be tough but winnable. Then the Commanders and the Giants. So, I mean, I will know we'll know in the next 2 weeks whether or not they have any chance. Because if they beat the Chiefs and the Lions, then suddenly you go, so what would they would need at least 4 wins. So that if they win those two, you get two more, and you're like Commanders, Giants, those are two. So that means if you get one more win against the Vikings and or the Chargers, you have a good shot. So it's these
Hmm.
next 2 weeks against two real tough opponents. And honestly, I mean, I think that bodes well for you if to get them out of the way. Like what sucks is if you have those easy ones first and then you're looking down the road and you're like, oh man, the last 2 weeks we got the Chiefs and the Lions to win this. If it makes it a lot easier to look 1 week at a time when your next opponent is the team that was in the last two Super Bowls.
Right. Right.
Um, so, uh, where do you want to move on to now?
Had a little Cubs news.
Yeah, they so Shota Imanaga decided to accept the qualifying offer. So he is now a Cub, 1 year, $22 million.
I'm not
Uh,
overly surprised that he took
no,
that.
no, yeah, I mean, I was probably 60-40. He was going to take it.
That's kind of where I
Um,
was. Yeah.
and I'm fine with it. Uh, they also signed Phil Maton to a 2-year deal. I'm not overly excited about that one. Um,
He's a pretty solid reliever. I thought that was a decent move.
what what's he top his fastball off at like 90?
Yeah, but he gets like 10 plus K per nine. He's got a wicked curveball. He throws cutters. He's kind of like a David Robertson.
We'll see how that goes. See what he looks like in the pitch lab. Um,
He's been pretty good the past 2 years, so I'm actually pretty cool with this one.
um, Ranger fans seem to be glad that he's gone. I've seen them uh, talk about how Cubs fans are not going to be happy with him.
Well,
Um,
I don't listen to meatballs.
um, so right now with these two signings, I, if my math is right, the Cubs are at about $190 million payroll.
Hmm.
And if they are to go up to uh the threshold, they've probably got another 50 million they could spend.
Get
So
it, get a big arm.
so I'm going to throw a couple names out of here. You tell me who you would pick and who is likely to be the one that's signed. Frambler Valdez, Dylan Cease, Michael King, Ranger Suarez, Zach Gallen.
I think that Michael King and Zach Gallen are the most likely, and I think there is a chance for Dylan Cease. Framber Valdez and Ranger Suarez, I don't think so.
I think Michael King is the guy. I would like it to be Dylan Cease.
Michael King's pretty good though.
I wouldn't be sad. I I just think Dylan Cease has some nasty stuff.
He does. I just wish Dylan Cease could be a bit more consistent. Like
Pitch
he's a
lab.
big arm. Yeah,
The
maybe.
pitch lab.
Maybe. I mean, he's always been kind of an inconsistent guy, but when he's on, he's on. Like if you get him, you're like, you're getting a big arm and you need a big arm.
So let's let's say they get one of those names I mentioned,
Hmm.
which I think is probably their priority.
Yes, it is.
That means here's the arms that you're looking at for your rotation. Shota Imanaga, Cade Horton, Matthew Boyd, Jamison Tyone, Colin Ray, Javier Assad, Justin Steele, and whoever you sign. It's a lot of arms.
Yeah, I mean that you feel much better with that, assuming that you get one of those big arms in there. And if Cade Horton keeps going the way he's going, and if you get healthy Justin Steele back, then you like the fact that your 4 and 5 is probably Imanaga and Tyone.
Yeah. So I mean, let's just say it's Dylan Cease. And so you're like probably Justin Steele, Dylan Cease, Cade Horton, 1, 2, 3. Imagine if you could get another magical year out of Boyd, and then
But the nice thing,
you're you're left with then with Tyone and Shota fighting for your number 5 spot.
the nice thing is that if you do get that, you can be more flexible with a guy like Boyd and Ray because I think with Boyd, it's not his abilities, but physically, is he going to be able to carry that same load 2 years in a row? He just hasn't really done that lately with his injury history. So if you were able to be flexible with him and pitch him in certain situations, I think that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I would be happy. I think I think Shota signing um it's it probably takes them out of going and getting 2 arms, which I think was on the table. Because if you gave them 22 extra $1 million with the money they have, I think there's a realistic shot that they could have gone and tried to get 2 arms. I think they'll get one, and where do they go from there? Do Do they try to upgrade at third base to a veteran? Do they try to replace Tucker?
I think they're going to try to rely on some of their internal guys, whether that's Owen Casey or Ballesteros or Kevin Alcantara. It's a big gamble. It might pay off, but it's a big gamble. You just don't know.
I mean, here's how to make the gamble where you have internal options that are veterans plus your young players and still be able to pad it is what if you bring in Pete Alonso?
I mean, that would be awesome, but I don't see them doing that.
You bring in Pete Alonso, then you're like, okay, say Alcantara or Owen Casey are ready to take over. They can take over left field where you need to upgrade.
I agree. I'm with you. I would love that because you're automatically bringing in an epic power bat to your lineup because you're losing, even with, the deterioration of Kyle Tucker in the second half, that is an on-base power bat that you're losing. And you would replace that power and then some with Pete Alonso.
I mean, Pete Alonso hitting in Wrigley Field might be a 40 home run guy.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean, he's
because
a
he's a
40 home
righty.
run. He's a 40 home run guy anyway. But I just think I think he's just gonna just pound baseballs.
I mean, he has the ability to hit it through the wind if it's blowing in.
Any of the slight breeze, he hits laser beams.
He does.
It's what it's those high ones that get knocked down. Laser
Correct.
laser beams are laser beams, and they're still gonna go out. So in those early months, he's still gonna be able to hit baseballs out. And then when the humidity and the sun and hot weather in July and August when baseballs are just going out, he's really going to send baseballs out. And the Mets don't seem like they want him.
No, did you see the trade they made today?
Marcus Semien.
Yeah, so I think if they're trading Brandon Nemo and getting Marcus Simeon, I think they're going to go hard after Kyle Tucker. That's right now, I think Kyle Tucker goes to the Mets.
Yeah, that's what it's seeming like, which means that Pete Alonso is probably out the door to the Cubs.
Well, okay, if you say so.
Listen, I just want a big bat.
Oh, I do too. I do too.
Is having a big power bat in the middle of the lineup. We saw how it impacted everybody else. It made Seiya better. It made PCA better. Made Bush better. Made everybody better by having a big power bat in the middle of the lineup.
A big power bat that gets on base. I actually wrote an article for Cubby's Crib about OBP. So if you want to check that out, check out cubbyscrib.com.
Yes, check out cubbyscript.com. But we're still a little early for the real action. It's surprising that we're seeing this much action already. Um, Makes me think that this hot stove is not going to be one of those slow burners. It's going to be a sparkful.
I mean, it's going to be an interesting offseason with this lockout looming, so maybe people just want to take their short deals and run.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: if all the agents know that ownership is just gonna and GMs are just gonna throw out short deals, maybe they go, you know what? If we know there's not gonna be a long deal, might as well just take the short deals, and short deals are a lot easier to get done.
Yes, they are. And I mean, you can't help but wonder what the agents are thinking right now. Like, is there a mutual understanding that this is what it's going to be like? And this soft collusion among the baseball ownership, like, you know what? Those long deals aren't going to be there for most of these guys. And maybe the other agents understand that. I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. But if you told me that quickly these deals started moving, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody is wink nod, it's going to only be short deals. I don't think you're going to see anybody lasting a long time. I think you're just gonna see guys flying off the boards because it's most teams have been. It's always the years that are sticking.
Right. Well, and that's the thing with the Cubs is they're not going to. We can talk about AAV and budget because that is a factor, but I think the big thing that scares the Cubs away from a lot of deals is the years. Like the Dansby Swanson deal, like that's as long as they will possibly go.
Yeah. So if teams like, and you're going to see more teams in play if it's short deals, is you know teams like Seattle and Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. I don't think they want to lock guys up to these long term deals unless they're really team friendly.
Right.
And if they're going to go long term deal, but I mean short term deal, I think you're going to see more teams in play here.
Sure.
Should we talk Bulls and Blackhawks here?
Yeah, Hawks just lost 1-0. They battled really tough against the league's best in the Avalanche, and they finally hit their first skid. Um, do you see the bullshit the other night?
I didn't see it. I read about it.
It was blatant. Absolutely blatant. Now, the Blackhawks played a very poor third period, but they were up 2-0. It looked like they were going to win another game, and then it went all by the boards. The controversial no call on Bedard. Bedard got in the face of the ref. The ref called unsportsmanlike. He went to the box. Kraken scored a power play goal with like 2 minutes to go, and they lost 3-2. I'm glad I didn't see any of the Buffalo game because holy shit. That was their first, like, holy crap, they just got their ass beat. Because whether or not you look at the absolute quality of the play, all their games have been close. I mean, heck, tonight, you lost 1-0 to a great Avalanche team. That just game in Buffalo, it was the one time you're like, wow, that wasn't even a game. That was a mugging with an audience.
Yeah.
And you haven't really seen that a lot so far. You're going to see more of it at some point, but they've been in a lot of close games, win or lose.
Yeah, and here's the
It was
thing
bound to happen.
is yeah, bound to happen. They're still playing good hockey. That just running into some good teams the right times. But it's the Thanksgiving day is like the good barometer. At that point, we sort of know who is and who is in a playoff team. And we are, this is Thanksgiving week. And it sucks that this is right when, we're seeing them, at their worst, or at least the worst results. Um, but we'll know by the time we record our next show, kind of what the feeling is around, their postseason chances. And in regardless if they make the postseason,
Right.
we are such a huge step forward from last year.
Oh, yeah, immensely.
Um, yeah. So, uh, the next three are against the Wild, the Predators, and the Ducks.
Ducks are tough. Look how well they're playing that young team. But you beat them once. Can you beat them again?
Yeah. The Wild are good. Not great, but good. The Predators are bad.
They're a good team, but they're beatable. Yeah,
They're
right.
oh, definitely beatable. They're not that much better than you in the standings. Predators are bad. So, um, it's there you very well could win all three of those. Getting ahead of yourself, but they're not. It's not a buzzsaw gauntlet. Um,
Right.
so it's um, you know, that's what you're looking at when you're, the barometer there of what you're looking like at Thanksgiving. And if they're right there and they're just on the outside of the postseason right now. And Bedard is putting up a monster season right now.
Yeah, I mean, even in that blowout against Buffalo, he scored a goal.
Yeah. Um, and Knight is third in the NHL in save percentage. So you've got yourself a goalie. Tyler Bertuzzi is probably your MVP if the season were to end right now.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
playing
he's
really
playing
well.
great.
Uh, Nazar and Moore look legit. There's just a lot to like about this team. And Nazar and Moore,
Yep,
like
there is.
the way that they've been playing puts a lot of pressure on the defense. The way that they skate and enter the zone. Um, so things are looking up for this team. This is no matter what. If they keep on this same trajectory, sure they probably don't make the postseason, but what a huge step forward from where they were last year.
And that at the end of the day is what you're looking for.
I mean they're 10-8 and they've got 10 wins right now in 22 games, 24 points. What was their record last year?
Bad.
It was
I don't
bad.
remember, but it was bad.
Um, bum, 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 bum. Let's see. They were in 82 games, they had 25 wins. So they are about a quarter of the way through, and at this pace that they would probably have like they're they're like 12, 13 wins better. And so they at this they're on pace probably for like 84, 86 points, and last year they were 61.
It's a
That's a,
huge, huge improvement.
that is a 20 something point swing. That's it, huge. Huge. So it's it's good. I mean, no matter what, it seems like we're playing with house money at this point.
Yep.
And next week I think we have a better gauge of what we can expect for the rest of the season. If you look at people that model this out, like The Athletic and some of the other sites that like will actually model this out, they don't have a good odds on the Blackhawks making the postseason. But like I said, I think just the step forward is such huge progress. If they were to make the postseason, they're not making any noise, but it's such a cool thing for these young players to get that experience.
Just being in a race, like just being saying, hey, there's an outside chance you make it feels like a big improvement.
And honestly, with how tight this is, how close they are, just that sense of urgency, you can see how these kids are going to react.
Hmm.
Um, and so I uh I think that's important is playing with games that matter.
Right. It goes
Um,
a long way to getting that experience.
yeah, and um, and they're doing this with their captain hurt.
Yeah, you can tell they miss him over these past few games.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. Like he is not like one of their top players, but just that leadership is important.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
and I don't even know how long is he supposed to be out?
4 weeks.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's about a month, give or
What is he about?
take.
What is he about a week in?
Yeah.
Oh well. We'll now to figure it out. On the other hand,
Yep.
I can't figure out who the Bulls are.
The Bulls are the Bulls, up and down. That's what I expected. I didn't see the game, but I heard about the near disaster against the one-win Wizards. Did you see the post-game interview with Vucevic?
Yeah, where he said they were soft.
Well, did you see when he was on the court and like his teammates were trying to like rile him up and he just wasn't having it?
I mean,
You got to watch that clip.
I think he's frustrated. I mean, because they're like they should be playing even better than they are,
Well, yeah,
and
you almost lost to a one-win team at home.
they just, I mean, they got the win, and it was a late come or tough win over Portland and Washington. You got blown out by Miami, but then you just got a big win over Denver. Like, it's who the hell is this team?
This is what the Bulls do, man. This is what they've always done. This is the Bulls. They will always lose a bad game against an inferior opponent or barely scratch one out against the absolute bottom feeder, and then they'll go and win a tough game against a really good team. This is what they do.
And are you seeing all these rumors about the Anthony Davis trade possibility?
Please, no. What does that do for you?
It makes you worse. Is
Please, just stop.
is for once you're finally getting value out of Vooch. Why would you get rid of him for Anthony Davis, who's not doing anything? It's so
If
stupid.
you're gonna trade Vooch, get something that'll help you down the road, not AD in his current form.
Yeah, we don't want a Packer fan on this team. No, no,
Yeah,
thank you.
you stole that line before I was gonna use it.
Yeah, do not want. There's a time when I would have done anything to get that guy on this team, and that
Long
ship has
past that.
sailed. We are past that.
You can't even see the sail on the horizon. That is long
And
gone.
yeah, it is. It is so far. Like they don't make binoculars big enough to see that.
What do you mean? The Earth is flat. You could totally see that if you keep looking.
uh
That's what Kyrie Irving says.
oh, Kyrie Irving.
You remember that shit?
I do. That you know what? What happened? Like there for a while, like he was just nonstop with his craziness. And then just did somebody tell him just shut up? Just shut up. Just keep it to yourself. Or even better is Ryan, the office intern, gave him his own blog.
Yeah, it's a Word document. As much as I wanted to protect people from Creed's brain, I read some of it and it's pretty disturbing. www.creedsthoughtsblogspot.com.
uh yeah, so it uh just go to it and it's a www.kyriethoughts.gov. uh
There's just this Word document that just has these absurd entries. You know, man, I was flying one day on our trip to Cleveland, and in the sky, I saw the chicken god of the mountains, and he was staring at me, and he was trying to eat the plane. But I just then understood that eating the plane was a symbol of us being taken to the everlasting glory of Colonel Sanders and his herbs and spices.
www.kyriethoughts.gov.www/Kyrie Thoughts. How funny would it be if
Somebody just get
somebody
like on the
actually
team
did
gets a
something like
hold
that?
of that. That would be hilarious.
One day, somebody's just going to get a hold of that Word document and then just publish the Word document as a book, put a cover on it.
Without even him knowing.
Yeah, it's just this deep thoughts by Kyrie Irving.
The
Uh,
earth is so flat that once when we were flying to a game out in New York, I saw the end of the world. I saw the edge. There were pirate ships going over, but I think they were saved by the eternal turtle on which our world flies on.
Oh God. Mm.
I totally read that just for the absurdity.
Yeah, would read. Um, what does the NBA playoff picture look like?
You're looking at that before even Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I will look ahead of anything. Uh,
What do you want? Are you counting on us making the play-in again?
I'm probably.
What is our number to clinch the play-in here on Thanksgiving week?
Uh,
You're gonna be gobbling down mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving. All right, guys, we're gonna discuss the Bulls playoff and play-in odds.
the Bulls are the 7 seed.
Woo.
That's what they are. They're the 7 seed. Remember at one point when they were kicking so much ass? Now they're 9-7.
Yeah, they were the 1 seed.
And they beat the Pistons. The
Yeah,
14-2 Pistons. They beat them.
yeah, that was opening night, wasn't it?
Yes. They started off the season by beating the Pistons. And I went, ooh, the Pistons are good. Look at this good start. And then just they they became the Bulls again.
Well, it was bound to happen.
The Bulls were bound to be the Bulls.
Yep.
Yeah, but like you look through and you're like, oh, the Nuggets are 12-4. Oh, they lost to the Bulls. The the Pistons are 14-2. They lost to the Bulls. The Cavaliers are 12-6. They lost to the Bulls. You're just like the Spurs 11-4. They lost to the Bulls.
I thought the Spurs beat us.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. We were kicking their ass and then they came back and won.
Yeah.
You're right.
And didn't
You're
the
right.
Cavs beat us too? Remember we were winning that game for like
Ah,
90% of it and then we blew it?
I stopped the count. With two
Okay.
minutes left, I went, nope, game's over. Stop the count.
All right.
Uh,
What does your blog look like? You got a blog somewhere.
Stop the steal. Stop the steal. We were winning at one point. How did they come back and score more points? Stop the steal.
Clearly, Greedo wasn't helping us that night.
Uh, oh, the Bulls. The Bulls, the Bulls, the Bulls. The Thunder are 17-1.
Hmm. Did you see the Pacers record? It's
No.
bad.
Oh, I mean, it's not Wizard. And I mean, they have twice as many wins as the Wizards.
Yeah, two.
That's twice as many.
Yeah, I didn't say you were wrong.
It's just not a high mark to beat.
No, it's not.
Uh, the Nets, the Pacers, and the Wizards have a combined 6 wins.
Oof. Did the Nets beat a good team recently too? Did they beat the Bucks recently? I think they did.
Um, they beat the Celtics
Oh, is it the Celtics they beat?
and they beat the Wizards.
Oh, okay. Congratulations.
They beat the Wizards by a lot, by 23. Um,
Wow. Okay, it's the Wizards, but whatever. Still.
I mean, they beat the Pacers.
What that okay.
Just going by who they beat here. Um, they beat the Suns. That's preseason. So yeah, they've not beat the best team they beat was um the Celtics, who are not that good.
Still,
The Celtics are 9-8. They are worse than the Bulls. I mean, they're
still
still.
not easy to beat.
Who did the Wizards beat?
Yeah,
Who?
who is that poor sap that the Wizards beat?
Hmm. Can tell you who it wasn't. The Nets.
Thank you. That helps. That eliminates one team.
Um. The Mavericks, who fired their GM.
Oh, yeah. Was that the game that got Nico Collins fired?
Probably.
Oh boy, what just a whole strange historic thing with Nico Collins over the past 2 years. He gets you to the finals. He trades your franchise in a shocking fashion. You win the sweepstakes to get the number one overall pick, and you get Cooper Flag, and now it's just craziness. What a roller coaster. What a weird story.
That's what happens. It's what happens.
Yeah,
It's the NBA.
it is.
It is. And is somebody going to beat the Rams?
I don't know. They're really good.
It's not going to be Tampa Bay. They're
I
getting
kind of like the
smoked.
Rams though. Like in the NFC, if not the Bears, I'd totally F with the Rams.
Um, I lived through the greatest show on turf, and I hate Kurt Warner, so I hated them. Um, but I don't mind them anymore. I kind of like Sean McVay,
I like Sean
and
McVay too. I like the way he coaches, and I like Matt Stafford.
I don't hate Matt Stafford. Um, which is a lot. This I have a lot of hate in my heart in the NFL, and
Clearly,
I mean, if you look at the NFL standings here, as far as the NFC, I hate the Eagles, like Packer level hate. Packers, Lions, Vikings, hate, hate, hate.
you're the Grinch.
Oh
Hate, hate,
yeah,
hate, 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 devil hate, loathe
loathe.
entirely.
Yeah, like I loathe the 49ers. I don't really like the Seahawks. I can't
I like the
stand
49ers.
I can't stand the Saints, Falcons, or Panthers. I don't know why. I have no reason. I have no any rational reason to hate them. I just hate them.
The
And
Saints? What the hell?
can't tell you. Just don't like them. Um,
One of my favorite players of all time was Drew Brees.
mm, he was all right when he was with the Chargers. I liked him at Purdue. Then he went to the
Oh,
Saints, and I
brother.
couldn't stand him.
That is so weird. Oh, like how
Uh,
you love your Calgary Flames? Weird ass.
I'm okay with the Bucks. Um, I have
Tampa Bay?
yeah, I have I have no opinion about the Cardinals.
The
Um,
Cardinals don't really deserve an opinion.
I have no opinion about the Cowboys.
I
I
know everyone
don't.
hates the Cowboys. I'm kind of meh. I don't really care.
I'm meh. Um, I can't stand the Commanders.
I used to have nothing against them, but after last year, now I just have beef with them after that Hail Mary bullshit.
Yeah, that's really ignited it. And then I don't like the Giants.
I like the Giants. I love their uniforms. I loved watching those Eli Manning Super Bowls.
Ugh. I mean, it was better than the Patriots winning, but I can't stand them. You go to
Why? What have the Giants done to us since like the 60s?
I they in the 80s, in the 90s, they were good. I don't like them. I just don't like them.
Well, okay, I wasn't really around for those, so I
Um,
guess I can't
yeah.
speak. I mean, it is the Giants and the Bears are a longtime nemesis. Same with Washington. Like when you're, outside of Lions and Packers, when you talk about, teams that the Bears have tussled with since the dawn of the NFL, the Giants and Washington are those two teams that are always there. And, the 49ers going back a long time. They've met in big games plenty of times.
Um, and when you look at the AFC, I have a lot less hatred. Like I I don't like the Ravens.
I like the
I'm not super
Ravens.
fond of the Steelers. I'm indifferent to the Bengals. I have a soft spot for the Browns. Um,
I don't like the Browns. I used to, but I don't like the way they handled Deshaun Watson. I just don't.
okay, I don't. I agree with that. But other than that, I'm fine with the Browns.
Other than that, I don't really care.
I have no opinion about the Titans or the Texans. Other than having stupid, ugly uniforms, I have no issues with the Jaguars. Um, surprisingly, I don't hate the Colts. Um,
I don't either. I mean, the Super Bowl loss was rough, but that was a long time ago. And Peyton Manning's an all-time great. It's hard to hate on that. And I really liked Andrew Luck. I really, really liked him. And him getting hurt so bad, that sucked to see.
I find it funny to root against the Raiders. I don't hate the Raiders though. Um, I am indifferent to the Chargers. I have a little bit of beef with the Broncos. Um, I do not like the Chiefs. Haven't ever, do not, will not ever.
I just
Um,
hate how good they've been. It's envy for me.
I feel sorry for the Jets.
Yeah, I feel awful for that fan base. I really, really do. You mentioned the Broncos.
Yeah.
I don't dislike the Broncos, but like I don't know. I find their current team a little irritating.
The team is an overachiever. They they're playing well. They beat the Chiefs. I think they might make the postseason. Um, I hate the Patriots. I don't mind the Bills. Uh, I have no opinion about the Dolphins other than their uniforms are ugly.
The Dolphins rub me a wrong way sometimes. I mean, right now I don't really care, but I don't know. There were times where the Dolphins, not a huge fan. I don't hate them, but um, the Patriots, I'm not a Patriots hater like a lot of people have become, but I really fucking hate when Patriots fans are like, "Oh, the last few years have been so hard. Oh, look at this. We got a quarterback again. Look how great." Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Other than that, I
I
don't really hate the team.
I've hated the Patriots since I was a child.
Why? Because of the Super Bowl?
I I was there, and I don't know why. I had no hate in my heart as an 8-year old, but man, I just hated that team. And when the Bears creamed them in the Super Bowl, I it made me a football fan and a Patriot hater for life.
Hmm, fair. I'm still laughing at some of your NFC hatreds. I can't get over the Saints. Like,
Hate
what?
them, hate that.
Why?
I I can't even look at that uniform and not just want to barf on it.
I
Don't
love
like,
that.
hate
I
them.
love that uniform.
Hate them. I just hate them. See that stupid fleur de lis and bleh.
It's what is wrong with you?
I'm a hater.
What are you jealous because we couldn't beat them in 2020 with Javon Wims? Is that what you're salty about?
No, I've hated them for years. I've I've hated them.
You're whack, man. Uh, you know who I didn't hate, then I hated, but don't hate as much now? The Panthers. Because I hated last year when Panthers fans tried to talk so much shit. Oh, look at the Bryce Young. I mean, and look, we're going to kick your ass. And then we kicked their ass. And then that rivalry kind of died. And I'm like, okay, I don't mind you guys being more competitive now.
I have hated the Saints since the 80s when they had the Dome Patrol.
But they didn't do anything relevant until we played them in the NFC Championship in
Doesn't matter.
'06.
Doesn't matter. I hated the Dome Patrol. You're too young to know the Dome
Yeah,
Patrol.
I don't know the Dome Patrol.
They had their linebackers were Ricky Jackson, Vaughn Johnson, Sam Mills, and Pat Swilling. And they were they had four stud linebackers, and I was like, I hate them. Hate. Filled with hate.
You are crazy. Uh, Funny conversation though.
I I go and watch the Dome Patrol. They were really good. It made me mad
Was the Dome Patrol that was before or was that during Jim Mora?
before.
Before, okay. Because was it when he was the coach of the Saints when Mora said diddly poo? We didn't do diddly poo.
Uh, that guy said some stupid stuff.
Because the playoffs rant was with the Colts. I know that, but I thought diddly poo was when he was in New Orleans.
Um,
We didn't do crap. We didn't do diddly poo.
um, what's funny is I didn't realize this until just now. The linebacker coach for the Dome Patrol, where they had like all Pro Bowl lineback, four Pro Bowl linebackers. Linebacker coach Vic Fangio.
Was that like his
Oh, you know
first?
what? That was Jim Mora. Jim Mora was the head coach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
diddly poo. So that was
Yeah.
Fangio. Was that had to be one of his first NFL gigs, right?
Um, maybe
I know Fangio's been around a long time, but
Vic Fangio Wikipedia. Um, ba, 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 ba. His first NFL job, yeah, linebackers coach for the Saints. Before that, he was a coached. He was a defensive assistant for the Philadelphia Baltimore Stars. Um, he was a grad assistant at North Carolina, and then he was high school. He was a high school coach for Dunmore
wow,
High School.
what a long way he's come.
Can you imagine being a high school coach and then just going on to being an NFL head coach?
Yeah, but pretty crazy.
Yeah,
And
so
I wonder if you gave him another chance. Because I just when he was in Denver, I don't think that team was very good.
they
I
were
don't know
terrible.
I don't know if he's ever going to be a real good head coach, but I just wonder if you gave him another chance, what it would look like.
He's a real good defensive coordinator.
Oh, he's one of the best.
Yeah,
I think he should go in the Hall of Fame as a defensive coordinator.
yeah. So he was a longtime Saints linebackers coach. Then went has become the defensive coordinator for the Panthers. Then defensive coordinator for the Colts. Then the defensive coordinator for the Texans. The defense special assistant to the head coach and defensive assistant for the Baltimore Ravens. Then the Ravens linebacker coach. Then he went to Stanford with Jim Harbaugh for a year. Then he went with Harbaugh to the 49ers as
Mhm.
defensive coordinator. Then the Bears defensive coordinator, Broncos head coach, consultant 1 year for the Eagles, then defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, and then he's been the defensive coordinator for the Eagles ever since. You know how
Yep.
bad and dysfunctional the Dolphins are that they couldn't have a good defense with Vic Fangio as their defensive coordinator?
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough.
Like Mike McDaniel is a really good offensive mind. Is he a good head coach? Who
Nah.
knows? Who knows? But Vic Fangio was his defensive coordinator. That means that it is the GM was terrible and couldn't put a team together because they
Yeah,
can't
you have a
score
dream
points.
team there. Yeah.
Like Mike McDaniel was the hot name for a while because of
Yes, he was.
his proximity to, um, the
Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan.
Yep.
So, but you know what? He's probably going to get fired, and then he's going to go somewhere and be an offensive coordinator and be good again. But I don't think that guy's going to get his image rehabbed.
Yeah, I don't know. He could be a great coordinator somewhere, but yeah, it's
I
looking
think
rough
he's
right
too. I
now
think he's too weird to
for
be a head
head
coach.
coaching.
I think he's too weird. I mean, just listen to his press conferences. The guy's weird.
Talk about some tangents at the end of this show, huh?
We just go through hate, 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 hate. I hate most NFC teams. Like uh, Georgie Porgy hates non-purple crayons.
Wow, that is saying something. Like Georgie 48's non-purple crayons.
Do you ever think he secretly listens to this podcast?
He might.
It's like, do you ever see the Howard Stern movie?
I have not.
In it, like they were talking about like when he started off, they were like, what most people listen to the radio back when he first started. People would listen on average like 20 minutes to the radio, to a radio program. It's like what their commute is. And they're like, oh, the average Howard Stern listener listens for 48 minutes. That's good. What about the people that hate Howard Stern? They listen on average for 2 hours and 23 minutes.
Ha ha ha.
And I'm just picturing George. It's like, our average listener listens for an hour and a half, but George listens to every minute.
Those purple crayon haters.
I really don't love my purple crayon. I like the orange one too. Otherwise, we'd have Viking uniforms. George tried to trade the Vikings for the purple color.
I'd like to make a proposal, George. You do this every year.
We do a uniform swap. We do Secret Santa with uniforms.
Yankee swap. That's what makes it fun.
I'll trade you this iPod for the purple color.
Oh,
okay. I got this handmade oven mitt. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Nope, I've said my piece and then some.
All right, well, that's it for this episode of Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. I want to thank everybody so much for listening. Please hit subscribe however you listen to podcasts, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, Spotify, etc. Share this podcast with your friends so it'll grow the show. Follow us on social media at Swerski Sports, Facebook.com/Swerski Sports, SwerskiSports.com, or Swerski_sports_podcast on Instagram, or ShyFanPat2 for Alex on Twitter /X, or AlexanderJPatCreative.com for all the cool stuff that Alex does. And again, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, bear down.
Cubs win! What a lucky break! The good Lord wants the Cubs to win!
We thank Ditka and God for all they have provided.
Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win!
Oh, I don't want her. You can have her. She's a Packer fan. She can't fit in my van.
And she looks like number New Yorkers. Smoking crack is not legal on the plains.
Bears 31 to -7.
The Bears.
Oh, when the Bears go bearing down.